Fred, Canada. I'll be reading Leaving Saturn by Major Jackson. Skyrocketed, my eyes dilate old copper pennies. Effortlessly, I play Manifesto of the One-String Harp. Only this time I'm washed ashore, shipwrecked in Birmingham. My black porcelain fingers, my sole possession. So I hammer out equations for a new thing. Oh, go me tell I. Ovid and Homer behind me. I toss apple peelings in the air and half hear brush strokes, the up kick of autumn leaves, the orchestra laying down for new dimensions. I could be at Berkeley teaching a course, fixings, how to dress, myth or generations, spaceships in Harlem. Instead, vibes from Shuttown must be Fletcher's big band music. Oh, my brother, the wind. And know this life is only a circus. I'm brushed aside, a knife, a charlatan, too avant-garde. Satellite music for the futurist tent, says one critic. Heartbreak in outer space, says another. Lunar dusk in the brain. I head to New York. New York loves a spectacle. Wet pain of cement, sweat, scent of gulls swirling between skyscrapers so tall, looks like war. If what I'm told is true, Mars is dying. It's after the end of the world. So here I am in Philadelphia, death's headquarters, here to save the cosmos, here to dance in a bed of living gravestones. This poem grew as I got involved with it. I always feel a poem starts with the title, and I liked the title, Leaving Saturn. It didn't say leaving for Saturn or leaving to Saturn. I think what caught my eye subconsciously was leaving Saturn. For about a week, I daunted in and out of the poem, trying to understand it. And then suddenly these words coming up like orchestra, spelled A-K or A-R-K-E-S-T-R-A, and then oh, go, me, tell I started going, wait a minute, he's got an oh, me, tell I up here with Homer and Ovid, and I don't know what the F oh, me, tell I means. So I went to Google, I Wikipedia, and there it was. It was only related to his poem, Leaving Saturn. And then so I said, oh, there's the clue in the subtitle, Sun Ra. So I went back to Veep and I saw that Sun Ra was a musician, very well known, and that he had a spiritual experience in 1935-36, where he himself saw a light. And this light actually beamed him to Saturn. And he came back down to earth with this new vision of who he would be as a person and a new consciousness. This started to make sense because there were things in the poem itself where I had the initiative to say, wow, this is a very philosophical piece. This is speaking of the Metamorphosis with Ovid. It's speaking of the Odyssey with Homer. It's dealing with avant-garde. It's reconstructing. If you look very closely, even in the line, there's a comma, dash, lunar, and not, which is typical, to have a dash, comma, and then the word following it, that in itself is avant-garde in the structure, in the form itself. Not only is it avant-garde in the subject, and that's what Sun Ra was considered to be a very successful avant-garde, in many ways ahead of his time. I would strongly recommend that people do extend their research. He was a musician who was conscious of the society being segregated, and he happened to be in the fortune of a very strong educator in a school in Birmingham, Alabama, which is one of the first things that also caught my eye in the poem, I can add. When he's washed ashore in Birmingham, initially I'm going, oh, is this England somewhere? Birmingham in England up the shore? So it gave it an ambiguity. It gave a very strong ambiguity that got me curious and made me make the decision to select the poem. And I like very much that Major Jackson has Sun Ra as a subject, and that subject becomes the traditional form of the narrative, and it escapes this myself standard of, say, the Walt Whitman American poetic voice. And it gets you back to thinking about the Greeks and how they had subjects, be it Medea or Oedipus, who were a part of the poem, and then their stories were evolving from someone else's journey in life. So, in closing, I'm not much of a science fiction buff, but I do pay some tribute to the fact that many of my friends are obsessed with Orson Scott Card and other science fiction writers. It was insightful. It was something that made me go, okay, I'm not believing in spaceships and aliens. We can go further in this in class discussion. But I do believe in transcendental travel and meditation. And I like the way Major Jackson brought you into this real American, an African American who was going in segregated times and succeeded to become a legacy in the music world. Thank you.